How's it going, everyone? It's Zerker, and welcome back for another manga haul video. This video is going to be hopefully not too long. We're going to be going through essentially 2 months worth of manga since I took the month of May off on buying any manga. And yeah, June ended up being a great month. I was able to complete a couple series and find some new ones and pick up some other specialty items, I guess. And with all that said, I'm going to put timestamps below. We'll split it up into sections, and then from there you can figure out which ones you want to watch the most. And yeah, so we're going to start it off with the Ecchi / H manga kind of stuff. So start it off, we got volume 1 of Kimi Kiss. I bought Kimi Kiss a couple months ago. You know, I got it at a Right Stuff sale. I got volumes 2, 3, and 5 or something like that. I got like 3 volumes, found another one online, but then finding volume 1 was probably the hardest volume to find, and it was also outrageously priced. But basically it is a high school like rom-com harem type of thing. It's just a trashy harem style manga, I guess. If you're my friend Steve, then this is the type of manga that you'd probably read and recommend to everybody all the time. But yeah, I got it. It's completed now, and from there I'll decide if I really want to keep it or not. Next up, we got another Steve manga, and that's going to be Arrow Ninja Scrolls Volume 3. This one's actually really freaking bizarre. Every time, I've only read the first volume, but they introduced a weird weapon, and it kind of took me back. It also got me like, how much weirder can this series get? So I ended up buying 2, and then I have 3 now. So and then we also got volume 3 of J.K. Haru is a Sex Worker in Another World. The only interesting thing about this one is Haru, she was the popular girl in her original world. She was that popular high school girl. Her friend that got isekai'd with her into this new fantasy world was like the loner dude, and essentially they kind of swapped roles when they got transitioned to this fantasy world. He became like a super powerful, super popular like night warrior dude, and she ends up being a lady of the night, and I'm assuming it's kind of a story from her trying to get out of this particular lifestyle. The only thing I don't really get is how she came from what is present day for us into this new world where there's so much oppression towards women, and she just accepts her position in life just with no like protest. She just accepts it. I don't know, maybe she does in volume 2. I haven't read it yet. I waited for volume 3 to come out before I can decide if I want to continue with the series, but it just seems like she just accepted it, and like that's her life. And that's the only thing that kind of like irks me about it, because if I got transitioned into another world, regardless if I was a woman or a man, and I got in that position, a lady of the night or a lady man of the night, like I'd be like, no, this ain't gonna work for me. You need to go like redo some shit to figure out why y'all fucked up with what my position is. That's just me though, but yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Following that, we got some more Steve manga. We got Parallel Paradise, volumes 6, 7, and 9. Volume 8 is out of stock everywhere. Basically, it's another isekai hentai T type of style manga, but in this world there are no men. The guy that gets transitioned over there is a man, and his touch like drives these women into a sexual frenzy, and you can put the pieces together on how things go from there. And lastly, I believe for the ecchi stuff is going to be Lust Geass Volume 5. I actually really enjoy the series. It's a nice pickup to like change of pace, kind of like just detox a little bit from all the other stuff that you may be reading. So this one's just completely different from everything. So it's just a nice change of pace one. All right, next we're gonna roll into pretty much all the series that I have multiple volumes of already. This is a series I already have collecting. So we got volume 10 of Interviews with Monster Girls. Honestly, this is the last volume of the series, and I don't think it's going to be keeping a place on my shelf. I haven't touched it since volume 6 or 7, somewhere around there. So it's just a little too slow, not something I'm really into anymore. So who knows, I may just binge through the rest of the volumes and get to this one and see how it is. But honestly, it probably won't be staying on the shelf if I ever do read up to this volume. Another one that may not be staying on the shelves for much longer is Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. This is volume 7. I will admit, I do prefer watching the anime more than I did reading this one, especially just seeing the dynamics of these two in action felt better than what it is in the manga, and these just come out so slow that I just don't care anymore. And probably another one that may not be staying in, I don't know, I haven't read it, I have like no interest really anymore to read it, but I had pre-ordered this one, and that is Zom 100. Bucket List of the Dead. Concept is cool, art is cool. It's just, I think it was volume 4 I was reading. I could not care anymore for the series, so I may just give volume 5 and 6 a shot to see where things are going, and hopefully maybe my opinion changes. But volume 4 for me, I just didn't give a shit anymore. Next up, we got Hinamatsuri Volume 15. This is just a wonderful change of pace. If you like comedy, if you like that dry comedy, if you like that slice of life aspect, if you like that supernatural kind of fun time kind of vibe, then Hinamatsuri is definitely something you should check out. If you want to give Hinamatsuri a shot with no commitment, just go watch the anime. It's what hooked me into Hinamatsuri. It's what made me just consider buying the manga. So definitely check it out if you just want to give a taste of what to expect with the manga. I think the manga does things a little bit better than the anime. The anime was also rushed, so keep that in mind. But it is a great comedy and slice of life manga. And change the pace from all the darker and crazier things we have with manga. So it's a good one to get. Now, one series that I probably never talk about, and I actually honestly forgot I even had it in my collection, was Goblin Slayer. And this is volume 10. I actually should have been buying volume 9 and 10, so I do have to still get 9. But yeah, I totally forgot. Moved the Goblin Slayer off to an auxiliary, kind of like out of sight, out of mind kind of shelf, and kind of moved stuff back once I started readjusting things. And I was like, oh shit, Goblin Slayer. I haven't been keeping up with that. So yeah, I started getting back into it, buying some of their stuff. Went ahead and also got Goblin Slayer Side Story Year 1. This is volume 6. I don't know if this is completing this little side story or not. Like I said, I've been neglecting Goblin Slayer in my collection, so. Yeah, but we'll see what this one's all about. I do have all the previous 5 volumes for this one as well. And lastly, for the Goblin Slayer segment, I guess, is the Brand New Day side story kind of thing. I think this one's only 2 volumes in total. Could be wrong on that one. Like I said, I've not been keeping up with Goblin Slayer, so. But yeah, got these 2, and we'll see when I get a chance to read them. I'm going to wait until I get volume 9 at the very least and finish the main line and then jump into these side stories. Except we got the manga that ruined no manga made for me. That is Go-Go 13. These are volumes 1, 3, and 6. Honestly, when I first bought Go-Go 13, I never expected to get as close as I am now to completing that series and having every English released volume. Maybe 3 volumes away, maybe 3 volumes away. So I'm stoked. It's crazy. I never expected it. I finally got Ragnar Crimson volumes 2 and 3. I wanted to get the first 3 volumes so that I can give this the 3 volume check. And with that, I'm going to have to read these now. I will say, I have skimmed through these, and you'll probably see in the B-roll, I have skimmed through these real quick. And I'm excited to see what this series holds for me, because this will probably be one of my first, apart from Goblin Slayer. I think Goblin Slayer is the only like dark fantasy kind of manga that I have. So this will be a nice little adventure into a new kind of genre, I guess. And we also got volume 2 of the Manga Diary of a Male Porn Star. When I actually initially jumped into this, I thought it was going to be super like hardcore ecchi / raunchy and like just completely like just manga titties everywhere and things like that. But honestly, this has been probably one of the most hilarious mangas I've read in a while. And the one thing I absolutely love about this is your main character is portrayed as that little just goofy drawing, and then everyone else has got like pretty serious like human kind of style designs, and it works so good. And it's basically his adventures through the start of his career as a male porn star, all the crazy things he had to do and experience and all the things that he saw. So it's actually really funny. The only downside is these come out really slow, so I think these are like a web comic that come out slow. So but it's a funny series that it's worth a check out. Next up, we got Hinawa ga Crush Volume 6. I honestly forgot how graphic and crazy the Akame ga Kill Hinawa ga Crush kind of universe actually is, because I was flipping through this and I am way behind on Hinawa ga Crush. I just absolutely forgot how, what's the word I'm looking for? Just how mature it can actually get, and how quickly it pushes the boundaries of in my opinion. It's a wild series. Following up, we're going to dial back a little bit. Went ahead and was able to get volumes 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Girls Last Tour. Actually, when I first did one of the first recordings of this video, I actually got an email from Right Stuff that volume 2 was in stock, so we'll get that ordered and placed and all that goodness. But yeah, this is just a great short slice of life series during a post-apocalyptic world after a war event. I don't know what war exactly. A lot of the weaponry, a lot of the equipment in here looks very World War II-esque, so it could be events after World War II. I've been waiting to get the full set, that way I can just run through it, because it does seem really simple to read, real quickly to read. Once we get volume 2, we'll give it a check out, and maybe I can figure out exactly what happened in this world. And yeah, and another series I really didn't expect to find myself buying more of, but I ended up doing so, was Go With The Clouds, North by Northwest. I went ahead and picked up everything that's out, which is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Looking online, these come out really slow, like maybe one volume a year, it seems like. So I kind of jumped the gun on grabbing this full thing, because I didn't think they came out that slow until after I bought them. But super interesting story. It's kind of like an investigating detective kind of series. I've only read volume 1, but that's kind of what I got from it so far. Sakamoto Days volume 2. I still have yet to read volume 1. I might jump into it and see what it's all about. Now that I have 2 volumes, I can read back to back and get a proper, more accurate opinion on whether or not I'm going to continue with the series. Gigant volume 8. This is a series I am waiting to get finished up on serialization, because quite honestly, I read volume 1, immediately wanted to read volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on top of that, you know, since it is an Oku manga, I feel like it's going to be a very similar situation that I had when I read Gantz, where it was just like I wanted to continue reading the whole series and not stop reading it. So I'm going to wait until it's finished before I really jump into reading this one. But everything looks fantastic. I'm getting a lot of Gantz vibes from it, which is perfect. My Dress Up Darling volumes 2, 3, and 5. Not much needs to be said. Everyone knows why I'm buying this one. I love the anime, so yeah. We got another Oku manga, and that's Inuyashiki volumes 9 and 10 here. This was an anime I absolutely loved, but I felt like the anime cut a lot of information out, because I remember shit went from like a 2 or a 3, and then suddenly it was like a 100, and I was just like, what the fuck just happened? So definitely want to get to the manga, because I think the manga's going to explain things a little bit better, or at least allow me to piece things a lot better than what the anime was able to do. Quite honestly, from what I've seen, this is going to be one of those series just like with Gantz, because it's made by the same guy, where I'm just gonna like binge through it and then just love it. So I'm excited. Possums volume 9. I'm kind of in the same situation with this series that I am with Gigant, where I just want to wait till I have the entire set, or until I get like confirmation of, say, like volume 12 will be the last one. Then I'll start reading these at a pace that will put it so that once I get towards that last volume, I have it. But everything about Possums I've been liking, because I've been skimming through looking at stuff, and I'm excited to see what this world has in store for me. And these covers are always quite great to look at. Miruku-chan volume 5. These come out so slow, it's disappointing. Hopefully as things get better with COVID and all that stuff, and the supply chain improves and all that stuff, that maybe hopefully a lot of the manga that we've been waiting for comes out a little bit quicker, because this series comes out so slow that when I do get the new volumes, I have to like go back and read, or go back and like figure out what happened. But this is a great horror ecchi style kind of manga. The designs for a lot of the spirits, or like the monsters, or whatever you want to call them, they are just top notch. They do creep me out a little bit, and I really enjoy that. Call of the Night volume 8. Quite honestly, one of my favorite mangas so far this year. The only thing that I wish the manga could do better, and this is something that Happiness did really well, and that was portraying the night in such a way that makes it feel more alive, I guess. Like, so it called in Happiness, Oshimi did a lot of like squiggles and like unique shapes, and he just did such a design aesthetic to the night that really made it pop and made you feel like, yeah, the night is special, the night is alive in its own unique way. In Call of the Night, it's just kind of dark, you know, and it just makes it feel kind of dead, but there's so much going on at night, so I just wish they would have done something a little bit better. And that's why I'm really excited for the anime, because I'm hoping with I forget who the studio is, but hopefully they do a great job at portraying the night with like a vibrant sky color, like, you know, with some purples, and, you know, just make it look kind of like exciting to be out there. I don't know, maybe I'm just expecting too much, who knows. But wonderful manga, well worth to check out. or at least watch the anime, because it's due out real soon. And the series that everyone loves, Chainsaw Man Volume 11. Can't wait to see what part 2 has in the tail for us, because I am just now getting to reading this. So I basically stopped reading Chainsaw Man once I heard it's only going to be 11 volumes for the first part, and began binging through the whole series. And now I am at either the end of volume 10 or I'm just starting this particular volume. What a roller coaster, especially when you get to the last 2-3 volumes, and I was like, what the fuck, you know? Like, if you read it, you'll know. And I'm excited to see where volume 11 is going to end up, and see where Denji is after the events that do happen. So this next volume will conclude as far as what I'm currently collecting, and then we can get into all the newer series that I picked up, or like the newer like one shots that I got. We're gonna finish it off with a banger, because I am in love with this series now. Succubus and Hitman Volume 2. Listen, the artwork is fantastic. We can clearly see that. The action scenes are great. We can see that. But the crazy shit that goes on in this manga, I was not expecting, especially in volume 2. When I'm this B-roll, I had to redo this at least 7 times, because I kept falling on some really bizarre shit that I never expected to actually appear in a particular manga. And but I am loving everything about this so far. It is such a fun read, and it's just fantastic. Give it a shot. If you're older and you can handle looking at really, really bizarre shit that you don't expect, then give it a shot. All right, we're going to jump into the new one-shots and new series that are hitting my shelves. So we're going to start it off with this one-shot. I believe it's a one-shot. It's going to be To Strip the Flesh. Basically, it's a collection of 6 short stories that explore what it means to be stripped away of what you present yourself to the world, and accepting who you really are at the end of the day. So for instance, like when I'm at work, I portray myself as like the super serious like worker. I don't blah blah blah. But if I went to work saying kind of like how I really am, just kind of relaxed and chilled out, you know, open about me being a huge weeb essentially, then people would probably look at me a lot differently. But you know, I keep work and my personal life completely separate on purpose. But it's just kind of an example, and this is more serious side of things. Like this is much deeper, deals with much more personal issues that the manga is trying to, I guess, express. Next up, we got another new series, Colorless Volume 1. I actually saw this at Barnes & Noble's a while back and just completely skimmed over, just because when I looked at the cover or the spine, didn't give a damn about it. But I saw, what's his name, Boogie feature in his most recent manga haul video, and I got interested. So I immediately ran down to Barnes & Noble's. They still had it, grabbed it, and I'm curious to see where this world goes. I do love the fact that they have very limited use of this green color within the panels at certain points, so I'm curious to see what that has to do with anything in this world, and why the world in this series is all black and white. We have volume 1 of Devil Ecstasy. This is a omnibus version, so this is 2 in 1. I believe there will be a volume 2. I have absolutely no clue as to what this is about. I just know that Oshimi did it, and I immediately bought it. With that said, when I was doing or attempting to do the B-roll, I couldn't flip more than 2-3 pages without running into God knows what I can't show, and there was no way I was going to spend the time of censoring all of the crap that I was seeing. So now that we're getting some more Oshimi's like lesser known or kind of older works, I am hoping we can get the Drifting Net Cafe. I think that one will do absolutely stunningly well in English release. But we're gonna follow that one up with The Men Who Created Gundam. Basically, this is what would be the correct word? Epilogue? No, not epilogue. Anyway, this is like a written documentary, I guess, of the gentlemen who created Gundam and the process that they went through on designing the world of Gundam and all that. So if you are a Gundam fan, like I am, and I'm not like a big one, I'm like a tiny Gundam fan. But regardless, if you're just curious about Gundam, if you're curious, or if you're like a small Gundam fan, or if you're like a Gundam fanatic where it's just Gundam, then you need to have this in your collection and read it and understand why or how these guys came up with the whole Gundam, because Gundam's old and it's still insanely popular, and they're still pumping out new stuff. Like Thunderbolt is like the newest release for Gundam, and it's fantastic. Crazy food truck. I've seen this in a lot of people's hauls, so a lot of people bought this one, and I'm excited because this one just seems fun, like a lot of fun. It's a guy who runs a food truck in a world that is pretty much empty of food. So from my understanding, he's using a lot of unique ingredients to make delicious food. When I grabbed this initially, I kind of thought, do I have any food manga? And I only have one from Dark Horse, and that was that Miss Kusa. No, it was the one about the little high school girl that likes ramen a lot. It's like a 3-part series or whatever. I got that one. That's the only one I got. And I said, you know what? This is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the food manga that I get. It's only gonna be 6 volumes, so nothing big, nothing extravagant, nothing wallet damaging. So looks fun, looks enjoyable. Every once in a while, I take a dive. I take a very big dive. I take a big chance. You know, I've been looking at this series for a while. It's got a bunch of volumes out. I'm gonna take a jump on this one. So I took a jump on Marginal Operation, volumes 1 through 9. This is also a new publisher to my shows. This is gonna be from J Novel Club, and they use the 7 Seas format, which is probably my second favorite, formatting size. I think the vertical and some of the new Kodansha sizing is fantastic. That's like the best sizing. But anyway, this series is basically like mercenary style stuff. Ryota is an otaku who's just lost his job after the dissolution of his company. Unwilling to return to his old neat ways, he applies online to a private military security company, thinking the benefits to be promising. After what appears to be a baffling test, he's assigned to an operator of operators and begins his training in a foreign country. Little does he know, the life of a mercenary is far more grueling than he could have ever imagined. Sounds a little fun. When I originally skimmed through volume 1 at the store, looked okay. It kind of didn't like draw me in. But when I looked at volumes like 7, 8, and 9, that's when things got really crazy. And I'm sure things get crazy earlier. I didn't really look at the other volumes, but 7, 8, 9 they just turned the crank up and said, we're going all in. So I'm excited to see what the series. I don't know how long the series is going to be. I don't know really anything about this series other than what I read on the back and the little tidbits I saw in later volumes. Another new series I've been checking out or wanting to get my hands on, but they've always been out of stock, was Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage. I have been eyeing at least volume 1 and 2 for the longest time, trying to figure out where those will be in stock at. I ended up having to buy volume 1 used, which is no big deal, but I had to buy it used on Alibris, and quite honestly, I might be using Alibris a lot more because they had some stuff on there that I never would imagine that they would have. Like, they had Dogs Volume 1, they had Kimi Kiss Volume 1, they had Inuyashiki Volume 9, all of which I just featured in this haul. And they were all at really good prices. But anyway, I'm interested in Dogs because, quite honestly, it just seems like a nice action-packed manga that you can pick up at any time and have fun with it. Another new series I've been looking at and been curious about was Children of the Whales. I got volumes 1 through 3 here. I've been very interested in the series for the longest, but I could never find volume 1. 2, 3 were always in stock somewhere, but I could never find volume 1 except for at Simon & Schuster's, so that's another place I'm going to be keeping my eye on more often because they seem to have stuff in stock a little bit more often than other places. But anyway, this series always drew me in because of the covers. These covers look fantastic, and it looks like it's a survival-esque kind of post-apocalyptic world, and I would like to know what the hell whales have to do with anything. It is a longer series. It is about 17 volumes, if I remember correctly, so it is a commitment, but I'm going to do the 3-volume rule and see where it goes, see if I like it. All right, we are down to the last 3 manga series for what's new in this collection. We got Welcome Back Alice, volumes 1 and 2. I was actually surprised I could still find volume 1 here in stock somewhere. It's Oshimi's work. I've read this one previously before when I was checking out Oshimi a year or 2 ago when I first got Happiness, and I can honestly say this series gets pretty dark, and I don't think people, if you have no idea about the series, you're going to be in for a right field shocker pretty much. But it's Oshimi. I'm going to love this shit either way. Next up, we got volumes 1 through 3 of Summertime Rendering. I'm a little disappointed because honestly, I pre-ordered the hardcovers of these first through Amazon, and then Amazon kind of notified me that, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I don't know if they got a super limited amount and couldn't fulfill my order. I had to cancel that, go through BAM or Books A Million and get these paperback versions, which is fine. Maybe in the future I'll just swap around with somebody, I don't know. But I have been enjoying this anime so much. I cannot wait to see how this concludes. I cannot wait and see how crazy this to get, because it ramps up quick and then it kind of dies down and then it ramps back up. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And I haven't had a Udon publishing series in a long time. I think the only one I have other than this one now is the Kill la Kill 3-volume paperbacks from way back. So I thought these guys were out of business, but I'm so glad to see that they're still in and they're actually releasing a really good series. This is a heavy thing. Lastly, for the manga side of things, we got Blam volumes 2, 4, 5, and 6. These master editions have put me in a pickle. I'm going to be quite honest with you on this, because as I was shooting this B-roll and flipping through them and holding them in my hand and everything, I really started debating on my decision on collecting the singles of Knights of Sidonia, which is another Nihei series that's also got formatted into these master edition sizes. And these Bland ones, they look fantastic in these big edition books. And now I'm like, I should just stop with the singles and just buy the master editions of Knights of Sidonia. So I don't know if I should do that or not. What do you think? Either way, I am excited for these Blam. Can't wait to get the rest of the volumes 1 and 3, because I want to read this. And Noise is coming out pretty soon, I believe. I think later this year, maybe next month or so. So I'm excited for that. That's, I guess, the prequel to Blam. So we'll see. Every once in a while, I cruise through Bright Stuff's like book selection, and they had this, The Obsessed: Otaku Tribes and Subcultures of Japan. It's basically like a book that kind of goes over and gives you the history lesson about these people and their interests and their hobbies. And the one thing I really love about the Japanese, when they get into something, they get into it and they don't care what you think about it. And I absolutely love that. So this looked like a cool little book to have to read every once in a while and check out, especially if I see something like watching a particular video on YouTube or whatever, and like I see like somebody that looks like something that might be in this book, I can look for it and read about it. We're plowing through this. All right, we got the next up, we're gonna do my 2 vinyls that I got, and we're gonna start it off with one that was in my 2022 collection goals video. That is the original soundtrack for Ghost in the Shell. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed with this one. I figured with the name of Ghost in the Shell and how popular and big it is, they would have at least gone the extra mile to give it some quality production. This is as good as it gets. It's a little sleeve style cover holder thing. Vinyl is their standard black vinyl, so nothing special. All right, next up, I'm sure a lot of us, we listen to lo-fi, especially when we're playing like video games. For me, I listen to it nearly 24 hours a day, nonstop. And did you know, because I didn't know, they have a lo-fi records. And what I mean by lo-fi, I knew they had like a publishing company, but I didn't know they had a vinyl printing side, or that they offered vinyl printing for the tracks and everything. So this is like a curated list of songs from their catalog, I guess. Yeah, it has a theme. I think this theme was what, autumn or spring, one of the two. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And now I will say I paid the exact same cost, not calculating shipping, because this came from France. But I paid the same amount of money as what I paid for the Ghost in the Shell one. And you can already tell the quality on this one is far better. It's a bifold, so we got it inside. You know, we got nice thick material cardboard on the outside. But they also went the extra mile to give us a white vinyl, and each centerpiece has a different sticker on it, or each side has their own sticker. And I paid the exact same price, which was around like $35, not counting the shipping. Obviously, with the shipping from France to the US was going to be a lot more than what shipping would be for within the States. But product cost, I feel like I got way more for my money with this one than I did with the Ghost in the Shell. On top of that, each one of these is serialized, so I don't know, serialized? Is that the right word? I don't know, but I don't know if that's 80 or 180 out of 5,000. I'm much happier with this purchase than the Ghost in the Shell one. All right, now we're gonna get into the 2 special items that I kind of teased at the very beginning. We're gonna start off with the smaller of the 2, because the other one's fucking big. But I got a Gunpla. I got a master grade of the EFSF prototype mobile suit UC0079 of the War Brotherhood. So this is from the Thunderbolt series, which is one that I am super into right now. It's one I'm reading. Once some of the later volumes can get back in stock, I can continue on. Unfortunately, I will not be able to touch this since I am going to be moving soon. I don't want to risk losing pieces or breaking during the move. So I'm going to wait until I get settled into the house, and I might do a special like stream of constructing, hopefully all of it, maybe parts of it, we'll see. All right, and to wrap it up, I ordered this, so I got this arrived in mid-May. I ordered this in August of last year. It was either August or September of last year. Ordered it from Instagram, and it was a gamble because this was about $375 for this particular item, and it was a gamble from just buying some random guy on Instagram. But I got a Misato rug. So yeah, I'm gonna put a actual photo of it like somewhere up here. So yeah, I ordered that on Instagram from, and I'll link them down below as well, but from Platinum Baka, and he does these like themed releases every couple months or whatever, and then goes to store down and rinse and repeat. He did a selling of the rug, and I immediately jumped on it. I'm so glad I did, because that thing is, I love that thing so much. I love it so much. There are fakes, or I don't want to say fakes, there are copycats out there of the same one. The one thing I've noticed between this one and the other ones is the colors on the Platinum Baka one seem to be much more vibrant, and there's much more detail inside, like where the shadows are in the skin or on the clothing. And he went the extra mile to actually plant his own name brand in the beer, so it's Baka beer instead of whatever, I forget what the beer she drank, it's a Pearl, whatever it is, but it says Baka beer on the beer. So I think that was a nice touch to set himself apart from everybody else. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the haul for June. Like I said way earlier in the video, I've recorded this video like 3 times now for various different reasons. You know, a lot of it is just rust from not doing a haul in May and just kind of forgetting what my whole process was and everything, kind of relearning things. So if this one felt really rushed, that's because I'm trying to kind of get back in the groove of things and kind of get back into how I was doing them, because I felt like before I took the month of May off to do no manga May, I felt like I hit a nice groove as far as what like a workflow ethic, what really worked for me. And essentially having basically 2 months off of not doing that, it kind of fell apart. So now I'm kind of relearning my steps of process to get back into that groove. But yeah, I'm very curious if you do have the master editions of Knights of Sidonia as well as the singles. I'm very curious to see what your opinion is on whether I should stop with the singles and get the masters, or just continue getting the singles. I only need 4 volumes of the singles, but they are the most expensive volumes that hardly are ever below like 50 bucks. So I'm not going to spend $200 for 4 volumes. There's no way. Anyway, I'm Zerger. That was my haul for June, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.